Computers may be twice as fast as they were in 1973, but your average voter is as drunk and stupid as ever. The only one who's changed is me. I've become bitter, and let's face it, crazy over the years. And once I'm swept into office, I'll sell our children's organs to zoos for meat, and I'll go into people's houses at night and wreck up the place.
Welcome to Punk Rock Talk. Joey here talking with my old friend Damon back home in Ontario, talking about Spiderland Acres, talking about his band Punch Drunk, talking about, well, he's about to show us a crazy mushroom his girlfriend grew. How you doing tonight, Damon?
Fucking fantastic.
Last time I seen you was at Jenna Memorial.
Yeah.
So I figure it's always a good place to start right now.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure you have lots of things to say about her. Maybe you
don't
say a lot. Maybe you want to
say about that lady. And so Amy had never grown mushrooms before. Yeah, Amy grew one of these today.
That's a cola.
Very nice one. It weighs 20.4 grams. So it's only a 2.4 gram mushroom. So maybe me and, well, actually, you know what? Jenna probably wouldn't even get a buzz off that. Fucking, she's a giver.
That'll get you through the pandemic. Having that.
That's how you trip with your girl. That's how you go on a trip with your girlfriend on the fucking pandemic, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, with Jenna, you know, that was a really sad news. But that is actually a difficult question. But I mean, last time I was with Jenna, she almost, well, she kind of did ruin the Punch Drunk tour. But it was more Chris Boneless that ruined it, because he goes, oh, fuck, we're going to go to Montreal, play with DRI, and we're going to get there about 2 p.m. Who's there to meet me? Jenna. Oh, fuck. I'm not supposed to play till 11 o'clock at night.
Danger.
I went on a fucking tear with Jenna till 11 o'clock at night. Kurt from DRI and fucking and Spike was just like, well, Walter and fucking Harold loved it, but Spike and fucking Kurt were fucking like, Damon's real fucked up, eh? And I broke my fucking shit.
You're on crutches
on the goddamn fucking monitor. It was so fucked up. And it was like, I'm okay with drinking booze and having a good time, doing drugs. I've been on tour for 3 or 4 days, and then all of a sudden, Jenna, it's over.
Danger, danger. So we used to have that.
When we did that tour with DRI, this was awesome. It sold out. The whole fucking tour sold out in I think 2 or 3 days. And Jenna, being very supportive, actually fucking had gone to Foofs because we were playing at La Foufounes. And she went to Foofs to buy tickets and it was sold out. So she just called me and she's like, Damon,
I'm your wife.
Sold out. Like, I can't even buy a ticket. And I was like, don't worry, Jenna, I got you. When I get there, don't worry. Just fucking meet up with me when I get there. That was my fault for being up at 2 in the fucking afternoon. but then I was just
You're trying to blame Boneless.
Pretend you're my girlfriend or my fucking wife. So we just held arms. We went in. And then, like, let's go down to fucking the SAQ because she didn't want a fucking beer. She wanted twisted tea. So we went down. I've never had a twisted tea before. And then she gave me a pill. She's like, here, take one of these pills. Like, because I was like, I'm fucking dead from all this. She's like, take one of these pills. I'm like, all right, sounds good. Because maybe it's speed. Maybe it'll wake me up. I don't fucking know.
I don't think it was a good idea.
It was the worst idea ever. And I fucking, but we go down to fucking the SAQ. We pick up, I don't know, I think fucking 12 fucking twisted teas. And then we just sit there in the background, just cranking. Like, I think we may have drank the fucking 12 pack in like fucking maybe an hour. Because we were just giving her like we used to when we were young. Like, I have known her since I'm so young. So we were just drinking like we used to. All the boys in Punch Drunk were pissed. Everybody was pissed at me, except for Jenna. Me and Jenna were the only ones that were happy. Punch Drunk hated me. I fucked everything up.
This is some real chaos in the Dirty Rotten Imbeciles tour.
Oh, that was a fun tour, man.
I'm jealous, man. That's one of those things you look back on the rest of your life and be like, I'm glad I got to be there for that.
Dude, that was probably in reality, that would be probably I would say, no, actually 100%. That would be the best tour I've ever been on. And the thing that I couldn't believe, every night of that tour, I couldn't believe that I was even involved, because I would have paid for every goddamn ticket. They hadn't been around for 15 years in Ontario or Canada.
Long time. I think they played the Trashateria in the late 90s.
We got asked, like, Punch Drunk, and it had to do a lot with Boneless. Like, Boneless was the one that, like, really, really helped us out with that.
Next time you see Chris Hill there, tell Boneless I still haven't got those Punch Drunk tracks. He said he was going to send me an email. And I would have had that to use tonight for this interview, for example.
I think there's some all right tracks there on YouTube, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
There's like 5 or 6, but I know you got more than that.
Well, there's too many.
How is old Sherman doing?
Oh, he's doing the best. He's gonna just, drive his fucking 4-wheeler, break his legs, have his time, tell everybody that they're fucking terrible, and make fun of people. He's the best. I mean, what the fuck? Fucking Sherman. What the fuck else would he do?
He's the drummer's drummer, man. So I want to ask you, Damon, how you first heard of Spiderland Acres, how you first met Spider, what your first party was.
So the first time I played at Spiders was, I believe it was 1995 or 1996. That was the first time I went there. Was 1995 or 1996. I can't remember exactly. I was either 15 or 16.
I know I met you in 96.
Yeah.
for sure.
So
I know I met you.
95 would be the first time.
That was
And I
my
was
first
playing
time
with
too.
paintball.
But
I was
it
playing
was
with
I didn't know the wider web of people yet. So quite likely we were sitting at the same fire in 95 and I didn't realize you were you yet or whatever, right? But I know for a fact with 96 that I knew who you were, I knew who Sherman was, I knew who all
So that was the first. So 95. I think I want to say it was 95, and it was Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving. We were playing at AWOL. Was the first time I was there. It was me, Jesse Colburn, Chad Herview, Mark Robeson, and Sean Allen. We were in AWOL. It was
that
more
was
of
a cold
a,
party. That was a cold party, that one. Hollow.
we were more of like a skate punk band.
Right.
And we got people like kind of fucked with us a bit, but we were a bunch of fucking drunk fuck maniacs anyway. So we were just like, yeah, fuck, we fuck right back. And then I fucking was like, I gotta go back to my car. This is literally my first time. And I went to go back to my car, or actually back to my friend's car, because I was under 16 at this time. And I met Sherman, and Sherman's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, fuck, just going back to grab some weed. And he gave me some fucking weed. He gave me, and he's like,
Here you go.
And I'm like,
This little
that
kid.
looks really nice. And it was some of the best weed I had smoked at that day. And it was Sherman's, like just outdoor.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? This is some good fucking weed. This cat was funny as fuck.
This little kid just shows up and gives you the fucking giant.
Dude, but he's my exact age. He's like, I think he's 2 days before my birthday, or he's 2 days after my birthday. And he's a dick like I am. So he started kind of fucking around with stupid shit. And it was just funny as fuck. Let's smoke a joint, do this. This asshole gives me a handful of weed. I'm like, this is fucking dynamite. Then the play is set, and then Spider being Spider, he fucking asked me, he goes, hey, you want some hamburgers? I'm like, yeah, I like hamburgers. He's like, well, yeah, you could have some hamburgers. I was like, I don't know about you, man. And then fucking me and Spider actually ended up being really good friends. I actually moved there a year or two later. I actually moved on to Spiderland Acres for a little bit with Philip Hogendam, Johnny O.
Yeah.
Fucking,
No, I remember Phil.
Yeah, man.
I
And
got a photo of him and Jay Young just like sitting on the couch in Spiderland, like in maybe 97 or 96, or 98, I don't know. And they're just stoned as fuck. Just sitting on, so young at the time. I haven't seen Phil in a long time. But being a Dutchman, I knew some of his family.
I think Laura and Phil are out in Alberta right now. I think they're in Calgary.
So that Halloween party, then when Spider offered you the hamburger, was that at his house?
Yeah. No,
So you and I were in
the
there.
hamburger that was offered was, we were playing on the remember the slab?
Yep.
It was beside the trailer. So in front of the barn was the slab. So we were playing on the slab, and there was a trailer before the fucking why spend your money on drugs and this and that, and why not?
Anarchy Alley there, yeah.
So the slab that was before that, that's where it was. And Moondog Willie was selling hot dogs then. Right there. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I was on Spider's security team that party.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
had like a security shirt or something that like was like drawn security with like spiders writing like fucking hard ass like a lightning bolt, and just so young and wasted. Like I don't.
Yeah,
And
so
your security, he's 15 years old and fucked up.
just so everybody knows, with Jay's interview when he was like, I don't know, that guy, he was a little blonde guy. So the fact of the matter is,
The kid whose car got destroyed. People who don't know about this, in the last interview I talked about our friend Jenna Truelove buying a car off this wasted kid for $50 in Spring Bash 2001, and then driving it until it got destroyed. Well, so this you can see that last interview with Jay.
and he was on, and so when people said he might have been fucked up, so what he had done is he had done a bunch of ecstasy and his first time on PCP. And I mean, we all know when we talk about Punkfest, we're going to talk about PCP. That's just simple. And anyway, he was in the Oshawa, like in the little cities. He was in Oshawa doing dance. So his name was Brian, and his name was Dance Bitch Brian. That's what we named him. And he sold his car to Jenna. Dance Bitch Brian
Came
didn't
and
give a
sat
fuck.
with us,
We
and he's like,
asked Dance Bitch Brian when we were flipping the car. We had him helping us flip the car over.
it was so destroyed by that point.
Dude, I stopped giving a fuck about. I felt kind of bad. I'm like, he's a little drunk. But then he fucking whipped a bottle at my first wife's head. And it just missed. And then I went, fuck this guy. Fuck him. I don't give a fuck. I will just laugh about this shit. I don't give a fucking dick.
His dad's a lawyer.
Dude, but then his dad's homie showed up, that native dude, and he's like, I'll burn this motherfucker down. And we're like, no, you won't. Like, you won't leave if you talk like that. And he's like, it turned into a whole fucking thing. It was too funny, man.
One of the other classic, the last classic car wreck I saw at a Spider Party was in 2006 when I was there for Spring Bash. And at some early point in the morning, I don't know who this guy was with that white car, but he got in the vehicle and he started backing up. And
that's Skippy. That's my guitar player. Brad.
And like I'm like pushing people out of the way. I'm like, look out, this doesn't look good. And he like backs, he like hit that outhouse and like put it off its side, fucking.
Oh,
and then ended
different one. I'm thinking about a different one because Skippy was foy mount.
Yeah, this isn't foy mount.
In the ditch.
On his way to the ditch, it started because he was going to back up all the way out back to the highway or whatever, wherever he was going. And on the way, he hit the gas, something too hard, and clipped the fucking outhouse, and the whole outhouse twisted. And then because he knew he hit that, he, I guess, trying to adjust his wheel while wasted or whatever, driving on the farm, bad idea. And that adjustment is what put him off for missing that little bridge. And so this big culvert, people would have to imagine, and his car, the way his car landed with the wheels hang, like, and the frame was holding the car up, and the wheels were fucking just dangling.
Yeah, that's Skippy. That's our guitar player.
Like, fancy, how did he do that?
Once fancy punch drunk were the worst.
and then fucking Sherman and I relentlessly made fun of him for like the next 3 hours. He was like trying to sleep in his car that's in the fucking drink. We're like driving the lawn tractor up on top of his roof.
He almost killed our bass player because Vito was sleeping in the tent that he just missed.
Just missed. At least it was one of your bandmates. You can't kill. You know the rules. You can't kill.
Stupidest idiots on the planet is Punch.
You know the rules. You can't kill someone from another band.
I think Chris Boneless is the only one that has a brain. I think everybody else is just a bunch of shitheads. Chris Boneless is he's pretty smart.
He's a very smart guy.
Yeah. Everybody else, Sherman's a piece of shit that I love so much, but he's the piece of shit we all love. Fucking Vito's just Vito. He's been around forever with the shit, and he's a fucking good cat.
How many different bands have you been in that played at Punkfest over the years before you got to Punch Drunk? The evolution through your different bands.
Four. It'd be AWOL. That would be the first one. That would have been in 1995. But it was a skate punk band, and everybody was hardcore, and they were just, we were
hard on you.
Yeah, everybody was. And it was like, well, fuck it, man. You don't like me, fucking, give her up. Let's do it. And Punch Drunk. And then I Ride or Die. And then actually maybe it was only, hold on. Yeah, no, maybe it was only 3. But I've been playing there for, I guess since 95. So I've been playing there for a long time. I didn't play between 95 and 99 though. There was a big blank. I was there every year, but I didn't play. Dude, I remember fucking living there for a bit. Sherman and fucking John, his dad. And fucking, I always thought this is fun as shit, right? And then I remember meeting little Johnny. And he was fucking 11 when I met Johnny, man. I'm like, what the fuck is this kid doing here, man? We were all on all the PCBs. All the PCBs.
All 3 of them.
Oh, dude. Well, no, I was. They weren't. Sherman's just smoking fucking tampons. Fucking joints as big as you can think of.
I went to...
So I'm there just smoking joints, and then you got little tiny fucking John Horsfield, that little motherfucker.
I went to World Marijuana Day or something like that in Toronto back in the 90s with Jay Young and Sherman. And it was just a blitzkrieg of token. It was... It was like nonstop the whole day. Get to the pot rally. It was good. Bumped into Jimmy from Dirty Bird there.
Oh yeah.
How did tell me about your about Spider, your time with them, specific stories. Tell us about the old man.
He was man. He was so fucking welcoming to so many fucking people. I remember that because, he barely knew me, like I said, at 15. I was there, so that would be 96. And I moved there. And I lived there for a bit. And he had, man. I think Johnny was living there, and man, I can't even think of who all was living there, but there's a ton of us. And he was just like,
Gord.
Like, no
Gord
word.
was there at that time.
What's that?
Gord.
Oh, yeah, Gordy with the fucking, yeah.
Yeah, man. Fucking Gord. The last winter I lived at Spiderland there, fucking Gord had cut his foot with a chainsaw. I guess he was trying to cut some wood at like dark, gashed his foot open, and then he like spent the whole winter just going crazy in his cabin, right? Like, and he was living over at Ann's place, the crazy old Ann next door, and yeah, we'd like
Yeah, yeah.
pull up to see Ann, and you just hear like Gord in his cabin fucking yelling at nobody and freaking out, and then Spider would go in there and be like, "Oh, it's just you're just." He's making fun of him basically for, it's been like 5 months and his foot's still injured and swollen. He can barely get around. He's going crazy through the winter, and Spider's being all hard on him, like, "Oh, trying to make it sound like he's just not. He's making a bigger deal out of his foot injury than it." And then I've come to realize in my age that chainsaw injuries are pretty fucking hard to heal from. Spider's being so hard on him, right? Go suck it up.
I had so many times with Spider, like, okay, so the first time I moved to Montreal, I was staying at Spider's. And I don't know how many watchers might know who Twitchy is, but I love Twitchy. I love Heather. It's Hal's brothers, so Hal and Twitchy.
Spider,
Yeah.
road trips with Spider, being at his house.
Okay, so me and
Spider.
Twitch,
Things you
so
know
I
about
was
him.
there, and Spider's like, I don't know what we're gonna do, and we were just staying there. It wasn't even a party, and Twitchy and Heather were there, and he's like, you guys want to go to Montreal? I'm like, why the fuck not, man? I got to know where the fuck else I'm going. I got no fucking home. Fuck it, let's go. So we literally go to Montreal. We go to I think it was Foof's first, and then Twitchy went one way, Heather went the other way, I went this way, Spider went to, like, hang out with the sex workers. Well, we know this,
Yeah.
And then it was just like, well, Damon, you want to come back? But then I hang out with I think it was the dude from Bitch Slap, and that's where I learned to speak French. And I ended up.
I never went to Montreal with Spider. Went to Toronto a lot of times. Even went to the graveyard where his mom was.
Yeah.
With him, went to Toronto a lot of times with Spider, but never to Montreal.
Can you? Thank you.
And now that I know, once I found out what Montreal was, and now looking back, I think, man, that would have been really fun to go to Montreal with Spider, because, how he is with food and shopping when you go on those excursions with him, right?
Oh, we had some times. I had so many fun times with that motherfucker, man.
You wake up in the morning in Toronto and you're not leaving right away. He's, gonna spend all day going to this boutique and that boutique and saying hi to this person. And
oh, dude, my favorite is I love his stories, man. His stories were fucking tits, eh? He's like, Damon, 1967, I had the nicest legs in the UK. Oh!
You wouldn't believe it.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
I still say that to everybody.
I remember him. He showed up to my house one day because he knew where I live. He showed up to my house one day, and he had Shelley Long, Jamie Goof, fucking
Classic.
Steve Troop,
Classic.
Fucking fuck, I can't even think of it. A whole van load of motherfuckers. And we're just like, let's just stop at Damon's house halfway home. And Laura was cool as shit. So it's like,
you were in Coburg or somewhere.
He's like, hi. I'm like, hey man, yeah, come in. He's like, I'm not a fan of people. And we ended up with like 13 people in my goddamn house.
Out of the one, your whole day just goes that way fast. All right, I'm doing this now, hard.
I'd love to fucking like big them up because you know, I never heard of blood sausage before.
Oh man,
I don't really I actually don't know those cats.
they
But
played.
I will tell you,
They played this epic set at Spring Bash '96 to
I think
close
that's
Saturday
my
night out, and just fucking blew the lid off the place. Like,
dude, it was fucking great. And I got the album uh, and the vowels from the bowels of Satan
yes,
was just it, I
I have
don't
it on.
know what it was. It was just so fucking good to me that I just fucking love it.
Sometimes why?
Yeah, dude. And it was just like, you know what? I don't think I would have ever heard that fucking shit without it. And there's the I think they're called the Anti-Fascist Underground. They're from
Yes,
California.
AFI. They played
Never
in
would have heard that.
99,
That
I
was
think.
Merle Bank. That was Merle
Marl
Bank.
Bank, that's right. Because their singer couldn't get across the border, so I had the cassette tape, and we had one of the guys from the band came with Spider and I in the van, and we went on a trip to town. Can you hear this? Give me a second.
Just let your head.
Fooled ya, fuckface!
And then another one I found that was beautiful was Led by the Blind. I didn't know those cats till I moved to Montreal, but I had heard them.
In '95, the big memories for me were from the later party was Bertha Does Moose Jaw. They put
That
on. I
that
think they
shit was
played both.
fucking hilarious.
They played both Labor Day and Halloween, I believe. And Urban Decay came as well for one
Yeah,
of those two parties, and I believe it was the Halloween one actually, because it was quite cold out, and then a lot of
yeah,
us.
because
There wasn't that many
we played
people.
that show too.
There wasn't that many people, and we were at some point in the night huddled into Spider's place, and he was telling stories marvelously with a beer in his hand, and then the next year, a big standout for me was Abelia Nation at
Yeah,
Summerfest.
I like Ability Nation so much more than
The Murder Squad.
and not that I don't like Preston or anybody else in the
There's
Murder
just something
Squad, but
about
Ability
the
Nation was
Alienation
like one of
sound
my favorite bands, like back when I was young.
with us, like that. I was playing with the Persecuted at that time, right? And I was quite young still,
I had a hard time
and
with your
somehow,
band because I was like, I don't know what to think about this Jesus stuff. I was like, I
oh
don't
fucking
know.
Troy was just he was so out there, right? So I ended up meeting up with, and I was, sometime on Saturday afternoon. It was like hot, and you're sweaty, and you're out of beer, and you're a kid, and like, and here's these big fucking cool, badass looking motherfucking punks, like dudes, and they're old guys, and like, hey man, you want a beer? And I'm like, really? Like, you guys aren't gonna kill me or anything, are you? Like, no, come on, sit down, And I end up like sitting for hours with them, and I just thought like, you are the coolest human ever. And then a couple hours later, late into the night comes on, and I realize a Billion Nation's about to come on, and I go and check out the show. And I think I was probably standing on the backside of the stage or something for quite a bit of it, watching from behind. I used to
They
like to
came
watch from
with
behind.
Tension, and Tension killed it too.
And then I was watching, you know, I just could, and the bass player was so slick and big, and like they were so good. I just, wow, that's the guy that was feeding me beer and food all day and being so nice to me. Like that's who they are. Holy, what a band, you
Do you
know.
remember? I don't know if you remember this, but it was actually the first day I met Shelley Long. But I don't know if you remember that I ended up dating Shelley for a bit. But
Mhm.
do you remember the first day I met you?
I don't know if I do. Tell me.
Okay, so I was with Jeff Brunson, and we came to. It may have been your house or someone else's house, but I came to see the Persecuted play. Just you guys were having a practice in the basement
It was at Troy
out
Thompson's
in
place in Marmora.
Marmora.
Yep.
And I came down and I just started fucking playing fucking tunes with you. And because I was on my way
Badass.
from Spiders to Spiders.
In a
And
lot of my memory, there's
I was
just
with Jeff. Rest
a
in
lot of my
peace.
memory. It's like you guys were just always there, and you know, because so many of those memories are hazy and whatnot too.
Yeah.
Uh, a lot of my friends, I don't remember the first time I met them, especially
Well,
like
that was the first time I met you, man, was just in that basement.
that's
And we
awesome.
were just talking about shit and you guys were just had your gear down there and I was like, let me jam with you.
We
And we
spent
were
all
just
summer.
jamming shit.
We spent all summer that year in Troy's basement, hanging out at Spiders sometimes, and going over to his grandparents' farm there with
Yeah.
his
Well, because there
cousin
was
Jeff.
that they had the sighting of the thing and then
Oh, people
this
saw
and that.
Mary and oh yeah, all kinds of
Yeah.
visions
And
of
I
the
was just
cross.
like, I was like, all right, cool. Like I have, and they're like, are you sure they're like right into Jesus and stuff? I'm like, I don't give a fuck what they're into, but
There's
I'm
a bunch
into
of
fucking hanging out.
there's a bunch of weird shit that's going on there with the iron content, the magnetic, uh, how magnetic the area actually is, and the hydrology, the water that moved through that was filling the old open pit mine when it was because it was empty when I was a kid, and then it filled up to be basically a giant lake, right? And all that water was moving through right below green, like it. At some point, the visions sort of stopped happening. I think it was an actual phenomenon. It wasn't God or Mary, but people were having tripped out experiences there from this
Well,
strange
that was the
energy
whole thing when
occurrences.
I went there. I'm like, what the fuck? And it was a big hill. And I'm like, well, this
Your
is
compass will fucking do this there.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
It's a weird place.
I thought that was weird, but I was never upset about it, but I thought it was cool that you guys were doing your thing, man.
You know, he was a freak. Yeah, he'd you know, put on a crown of thorns and have a big wooden cross on his back, screaming with fake blood
Yeah.
on his head. It's like, yeah, you guy was a showman, and his
Yeah,
vocals were
it was
awesome.
you guys were fucking different, that's for sure.
We were a good band.
I thought so, man. I thought it was great music. When I listen to the words, I'm like, it's not really my thing, but it's great music.
Troy Thompson, man. But yeah, he was on acid and then he was having a bad trip and he was freaking out and he thought he was being attacked by demons and he called out to Jesus and then the bad acid trip stopped and then for like 3 years he was on like this real religious kick.
Yeah.
And now he's out of it.
It's happened to a couple of us, man. Not so much me, but another friend that we know very well. Dude, your background is sexy as shit, though. I'll tell you
Liking
that.
it.
I want that.
I got like Star Wars ships hanging. There's like 18 feet
Well,
of
no,
snow.
I like the fucking deer, the fucking moose, the fucking Star Wars. Everything there is fucking perfect. Here's mine.
Tell me about when when the barn burnt down and when the party moved to Foymount.
So
2004 time period.
the first one burnt down by the neighbor. And we know this. We all know We know who
90,
fucking did it.
1992, the first one was, or 94. Something like
And then
that.
that second one was again, angry fucking neighbor. That was 100%. Someone did that, and it's really upsetting that that happened because Spider actually would have, like Warren would he would have actually he would have housed you, me, Amy, my
He did house
dog.
us.
So, but because people look like me or you or the way that we run our lives, that upsets these people, right? And having loud music, you know what? Boo hoo, motherfuckers! Like,
I never understood the complaint about live music because it's not like it's all the time. Now, sure, at
but
Spiderland, it was 4 times a year. It was excessive. Okay, I get it. But even then, 4 times a year, it's like we have a festival in this town and people complain about it in the
I
past. It's like
I, I
it's
had
one
met a
weekend,
couple.
dude.
I
One
had
weekend.
met a couple people that ran a few of the companies, like a few businesses in downtown Marmora. I mean, if you could call it downtown, but in the town. And they
In
were
Marmora,
super stoked about Punkfest and Spring Bash
especially the beer store owner.
because it brought a lot of money. And then all of a sudden, but nobody was mad in the town. None of the
No,
business owners were mad. It was more the one
I spent
neighbor that I think
I
we all
spent
know
years
about.
I spent years going to town with Spider and going to
Yeah.
grocery shopping with them, and how many times I went to the IGA with Spider. Oh, hello, hey, Spider, and
That it was the neighbor. It had nothing to do with the town. The town actually was very supportive of us. We would run the remember we would back in the day, like we would run the beer store out of beer.
yeah.
Like we're out of beer. Like we're out. It's like we just keep they're just like we're out. We weren't ready. And then you go into the fucking other store, like we're out of
Go to
bread.
Madoc. Go to
We're out of
Madoc.
this. We're out of the pop. Like they were out of everything because they weren't ready for it. But it made the whole fucking town very happy, other than said person that I think burnt down the house 2 times.
So
And I think we all know who that is. So
how did Spider get the property in Foymount? What was that process?
that was more or less he was I actually had talked to him, and that was with my first wife. I had actually talked to him and said, hey, listen, man, like what's the fines worth? Like we could probably help out. Like, and he's like, no, I just got to get out of this place. This place is gonna fucking kill me. And that's when he went to Foymount. That's what he told me. I don't know if it's true, but that's what he told me. He's like, Damon, I'm not doing it no more. I was like, okay. So
For a couple years before that, he'd already been talking like that.
yeah, and I went, oh fuck, I don't know what to say, but like let's do some shows here and there, and like, Punch Drunk will do anything. If anything we could do, we're not very cool, but we might be able to raise some money. I don't know, man. But everybody is really for you, and we will show up and play. Like we won't bring any extra people. Like you're Spider, we'll bring everybody, man. Like we're just a piece of it.
All our fans will already be there, but we'll come.
Yeah, like fucking, we're garbage. He called me and he told me he's moving to Foymount. I said, oh my God, man, that's a bad idea. He goes, what do you mean? I said, man, that's really far. That's really far from everybody that's you were only 45 minutes from Toronto or an hour from Toronto.
2.5.
45. I'm like, now we're going 5 hours away. I'm like, it's a good fucking choice. Though it was a good fucking party. That was a good fucking party.
Beautiful spot. Highest point in the
But remember,
province.
everybody got stuck because everybody went up the fucking trail and everybody was behind everybody. And it was only that fucking wide. Just fuck, man. And then we ended up going to what's his name? Tom's house. Remember we had to fuck off out of Foymount to go, or was it Eganville? We had to fucking fuck off and go to a new fucking place. We had to fuck off from one fucking place to another fucking place.
I never went to the Eganville party yet.
Oh, dude, that was
Foymount
fucking ridiculous.
The Foymount one was the last one, and then I was supposed to go to Punkfest that year, but I got sick with the tuberculosis and missed the party. Then Spider died, and Konechny and I were living together in Vancouver. We both caught a plane and separate planes, but ended up there for the funeral and caught your fucking just killer set at Ty's Tavern.
I don't even know how to. I don't like. It's hard to actually explain the way I feel or the way anybody would understand Spider. Warren Hastings is a really special and unique motherfucker that I couldn't put in words. It's I don't know. I don't know if it's sad or if it's happy or if it's
just a lot.
I don't know what it is. He's very unique and very special. I like his stories. When I lived there, how inviting he was to everybody on his own property was very special. Spider, I think, would be probably 1 in a million, and I'll keep to that forever. That I don't think I'll ever meet a motherfucker quite like that cocksucker.
I'm gonna give you a mission for the next time we got to do this again. I want you to spend time thinking about the stories Spider told you. And next time
many stories.
Next time we catch up, I want to do a conversation just on things he told us. I want to find it because I want to get some of his history down in chronology too, right?
I got lots of stories. I used to live
and
there.
I figure if we do 200 of these interviews with, and some of us a few times together, we're gonna at some point have enough for a book. I think you could write a great fucking book with this. The definitive Spiderland Punkfest history. There's so much going on. There's so much. I remember. Okay, listen to this. The first time. So I just tell you this if you want to keep. Well, you already got it because it's on the video. So the funny thing is, I said the first time I played there, I think it was 1995. It might have been 1996, but I'm pretty sure it was 1995. I think it was 15. No, it sounds like it was 95, I think, yeah. And I said, well, what's the set list? He goes, listen, Damon, it's nice to meet you, but I don't have we don't do a set list here. It just makes everybody upset. I said, what do you mean? You play when you play. You know what? This is the woods. Everybody's here to have a good time. He goes, well, this guy's out on the mushrooms and he's fucking passed out in the fucking he's passed out in the woods and this guy's banging some broad out there that's just having too much time. And these guys are too drunk to play. So the first band played after that band played, but then that band's too drunk and I went. If you just get enough bands on the bill, one of them will be functional enough to play, once an hour.
And I thought, this is the best promoter I've ever met in my life. And he goes, there is no set list. You guys deal with it because that guy's off on mushrooms. This guy's off banging that guy's girlfriend and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, sounds like a punk show to me.
Yeah, that's the way it was.
Yeah.
Right on, Damon.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta
And that's
I gotta
what I
call it.
thought. I'm never not gonna play this show. So I think I played Punkfest every year from '95 up until now. And I've done nothing but been very happy with doing it, and it's been nothing but amazing. And since Jay Plouffe took hold and Jay Young took hold and Plouffe took hold, and then I'm going to tell you this because I made Amy fucking laugh. So I saw your last thing about Jay, and he was playing in the Goofs, right?
Yeah.
And she said Jay Goof for fun. And I said, fuck that. The best name for him would be Plouffe Goof. Love you, Jay Plouffe. Love you, man.
You just had a joint point, man. That's what Charles Bell and I used to call a joke like that. That's a joint point. He made a joint point. Good one. Right on, Damon. I gotta get some food into me. Let's do this again, man.
Oh, dude, anytime, man. I love this shit.
And like I say, take some time to think about things about Spider's history. You know,
I got so much shit. Any fucking question you got, I got too many answers. That's the problem.
Jot a bunch of that shit down in the meantime. Like, I remember this one time Spider said this. You know, fucking right on, Damon. I love you, man. I love you, David. You're fucking beautiful.
I love you, man. Cheers.
I'd say don't change, but you haven't, so I don't need to tell you.
We got mushrooms and fun and love.
Right on, brother.
Cheers, brother.
Good night.
I love you, man.